Well, I've taken the liberty of putting together some potential themes. We could do glam rock, Super Mario Brothers, the Roaring Twenties.
俺のデカチンが強調できりゃ何でも OK.
Hey dadders, I have some wonderful news. Toshi's back and American Dad is in full form. If you want a spoiler-free review, I harken it back to some of the better episodes of the TBS series. Now for the spoiler stuff. In this episode, we discuss episode 6 of season 21, The Violence of the Clams. This entire episode revolves around the new Aw Shucks opening up. Steve and the gang attend, but Steve doesn't like clams. And soon, his friends leave him alone more and more. To get revenge, Steve works at Aw Shucks to dig up some rather heinous dirt, only to fall into a vat of secret sauce. He then becomes the Joker and intent on destroying the restaurant. The only cure is to be fed 100 clams. So Toshi, Barry, and Snot tie Steve to a chair and force feed him clams until he pukes. The B-plot features Stan, Francine, and Jeff tracking down the former owner of their house to give him his junk mail. This necessitates the use of a CIA 3D printer, giving the creation intelligence using the mail that they have received and allowing it to lead the family to the resident's new house, where an old lady does weird stuff with it.
Thank you. Now, if you don't mind, Mr. and Mrs. Minor have several years of love-making to catch up on.
Okay, overall, a much better episode than the last. It actually reminds me of some of the classic American Dad episodes where a seemingly simple plotline would end up leading into unpredictable directions. I mean, the entire twist of Steve falling into the vat of clam sauce is reminiscent of The Killing Joke. Steve literally becomes the Joker in a clear Batman parody. Not only that, but it's a lesser-known Cesar Romero type Joker. It's Cesar Romero's makeup, with Heath Ledger's face paint, and Cesar Romero's colors, and Cesar Romero's laugh. Even Klaus comments,
I thought you'd be more of a Jack Nicholson Joker, but this whole twisted moral dilemma thing is very Heath Ledger.
clearly, if you don't like the more absurd, wacky, absurd plot lines, you're not going to like this, and you're going to go straight to the early seasons of American Dad. I mean, I can't think of any other reasons, really. As for that second storyline, I honestly thought it was just as clever. I mean, well, it starts off as something that is completely inane. It transcends into a storyline that goes completely insane. So insane, in fact, that it has been committed for life in the deepest, darkest insane asylum that possible. The idea that someone would go this far for junk mail, and trust me, I've worked as a carrier, we don't give a crap, to create a 3D representation of the owner based off of the junk mail they have received over the past decade is just absolutely American Dad. It entertained me to no end, and it made me laugh out loud. This absolutely ridiculous, over the top representation was 100% accurate. To top it all off, see that map behind the family as they're interviewing this replicant? That's actually from season 13, the episode The Census of the Lambs.
There's a pattern here.
Where Haley is talking to witnesses, writing down clues, and finding out where Dad may have been taken. Frankly, this episode is a breath of fresh air in an otherwise lackluster season. I don't know who or what got into the writers, but keep it coming, please. Every member of the family has their moment, and it takes advantage of American Dad's greatest asset, its supporting cast.
Oh, good, Stan. We haven't seen you in weeks. You're supposed to be overseeing the drone strike on that Afghan terrorist bunker.
Yeah, well, I'm doing this instead, okay?
The next episode isn't as strong, unfortunately, as it features only Haley, who clearly can't carry an episode on her own. In truth, I don't think any of the main cast can, with the supporting cast like this episode has. The plot points hit just right. Steve is able to play off of Barry, Toshi, Roger. He's able to play off of the crowd. Everything here is absolutely because of the secondary cast. The main cast can't do shit. I mean, it's the exact opposite of the Mount Chimborazo episode. The main characters need the secondary characters to work, or else the wackiness, the absurdities, they just fall so flat because we've seen the Smith family so often. Steve's plotline, for example, is highly complex. There's a lot of moving parts to it, from him being abandoned by his friends, to getting a job, to becoming the Joker and kidnapping grandmas. That doesn't work with only the main cast. And quite frankly, I love it. Granted, the storyline with Stan, Francine, and Jeff, that works by themselves because it's only about 5 minutes long. If that. It's probably more like 3 or 4 minutes long. It is just so brief, it works. Now, this is what American Dad really should be. Going into season 21, I was really hopeful that they would take the formulas of everything that worked and keep them, and they didn't, and it makes me sad. Unfortunately, it doesn't stay that way. But please, let me know what you think in the comments below, and my usual links, Patreon, Facebook, are all in the description below. And everyone, please have fun and enjoy your day.